During the course of this sort of year of looking at Roseland music, we started to identify carols. And the Old Cornwall movement has been involved for quite some period of time now in promoting the regional carols of Cornwall. And you've been very much involved with that, from starting with carols of the diaspora and things like that.
I think it predates that, really. It was Bude that had the first Truro Cathedral service. I think it was in 2016. And there was a service of Bude Stratton's carols in Truro Cathedral. And then I was involved in putting together the music for a service of diaspora carols, which happened in 2018, which was wonderful. We had 3 carols from Australia, 3 carols from Grass Valley. Those 2 represented the areas that I researched in my PhD. And then we chose 3 carols that would have been popular at home at the same sort of time. So we had this service of home and away carols, if you like. And then there would have been a service in 2020 for St Ives, but it was delayed by a year for COVID. So that happened in 2021, and that was to celebrate the centenary of St Ives Old Cornwall Society, but also the Old Cornwall movement as a whole. I've got that right, haven't I?
Yeah.
And that was marvellous. I was lucky enough to be singing in that one, and that was the St Ives Combined Chapels Cornish Carol Choir with support from the Red River Singers. And so by that point there seemed to be some momentum behind bringing Cornish regional carols into the cathedral. And the following service after that, which was in 2023, was the Porthscatho carols, which is where it all started for me. I started singing with them 15 years ago this Christmas. And then, because the music of the Roseland Project had thrown up carols in quite a lot of different guises, we talked between ourselves and talked to the cathedral and talked to Bert and talked to others, and there was a service of Roseland Cornish carols at the Truro Cathedral last year. But that was one part of a whole kind of supplementary project of Roseland carols.
Bert Biscoe and Truro Old Cornwall Society have been a large part of organising those carols at the cathedral. And intervening that, another one we did was Redruth carols.
Oh, that's
which
right.
we did down at St Andrew's Church in Redruth. So the backdrop there was that the Old Cornwall movement had been really working to promote these regional Cornish carols, and quite often publishing the music or republishing some of the music in Porthscatho's case to try and keep it going. You know, I mean, the Old Cornwall movement aren't the only people doing that. You know, people like Hilary Coleman and her book on carols is again significant in this field.
Important.
But again, the Old Cornwall movement are really trying to promote that, more of that. So that was in the background. So we'd got this music of the Roseland Project, but it had starting to throw up carols as well. So it seemed like a good idea to continue, but to do something with the carols, which we developed as a sort of separate project. But they were really connected, partly because of the complexities, managing the complexities. But also in terms of fundraising, because one of the things that we did with the Carol Project is that we purposely got funding from lots of local groups. So we were looking for small amounts of funding from local groups. So all of the parish councils on the Roseland chipped in an amount of money to fund it, a number of the parochial church councils. And the reason for doing that is that we really wanted the project to be a community project. We wanted the community on the Roseland to feel that they had ownership. And part of the way of doing that was getting them involved in the funding. And I think that was really successful.
What we should say is what they were funding as well. So it was the idea of the service was one thing, and there were costs associated with that, and it was a complicated thing, which I'm sure we'll come on to in a second. But the other thing that needed support was the publication of a book, because we brought how many different carols from how many different sources together?
Over 40 carols.
Over 40 carols.